Hello students! Today I'm going to give you 3 options for how to finish your pottery. The first option is glaze. Glaze has got that shiny finished look. Remember, it has to be fired in the kiln a second time. And it's recommended if you're actually going to use your pot, but not recommended if you want to blend and mix a whole bunch of different colors and have a painterly look. Second option is that you could actually use regular tempera paint. This option, you use a brush and it's done as soon as it dries. You'll be able to blend and mix lots of different colors. That's how I finish my BLT. And the third option is that you can use watercolor. Watercolor ends up really just having a magical appearance on clay. I'll show you in a moment. If you're choosing tempera paint, the most important tip that I can give you is to first choose a base color and cover the whole thing. Usually a dark color works really well. Make sure you're really using thick paint and getting in all the areas where you have textures and including the edges. Then when it's time to switch colors, make sure you clean your brush. You don't want to ruin the paint for the next person. Yeah, clean brush. I can go directly in there with the color straight out of the tube if I want to. Or I can get scratch paper and use it for a paper palette. Now, don't mix the white into the red. You always mix a darker color into the lighter color. That way you're not wasting paint. So I take a little red there, and I say, okay, I like this pink, but I want it a little more red. And now here's the secret to making the texture underneath really show up. You get, see how nice and thick it is? Use a paper towel and dry most of it off. This is called dry brush technique. And when I put the pink on top, it won't sink into all of the lines and textures I've created. Look at that. Isn't that so cool? Wow. All the textures showing up. It's awesome. Seriously, I know that sounds like my fake voice, but really, this is really cool. It really does. And you can, blend different colors in there with that dry brush technique. Drying off a little bit and then adding more. Now, the last thing you can try is watercolor. So I've got this student project here. Watercolor. Remember that watercolor paint is not watercolor paint. You can't just paint from here. You have to add water in order for it to be watercolor. So I'm taking from water with my brush and I'm adding just water to one of these wells. Then I select the color I want, kind of activate it with water, and then put it in the water. Now you have watercolor paint. Cool thing about this too is you can blend different colors together and make your own. That way not everybody's project looks alike. You're making your own colors. Now, check out what happens when I paint the clay. Or paint the bisque fired clay. It absorbs really fast, dries really fast, and you can do all kinds of layers. Goes in a little bit darker in some of those textures, and you can make a different color. Oh, remember, adding water and then making a new color. When you add on to it, it creates all these really cool layered effects. So there you have it, 3 choices. You can pick whichever one you want. Watercolor, or tempera paint, or glaze. Now if you're going to do glaze, make sure you watch the additional video. Have fun!